We are recording. Coming to you live. It's Tuesday night.
It is Tuesday night. We know what day of the week it is.
We totally know. Totally. Happy February, y'all.
Yeah, we just had Groundhog Day, which honestly is a holiday I adore.
I don't know too much about it. Or like I've never gotten super into it, but like I do like the idea of a groundhog predicting how much more cold we get.
So one of my dad's favorite films of all time is the movie Groundhog Day
Mm,
featuring Bill Murray, we literally watched it yesterday. It's a very of its time movie. It is still very good. Like, it is very interesting to make me. I like Bill Murray, but I wouldn't say Bill Murray is like a classic, Hollywood icon. He makes you fall in love with him by the end of the
really?
movie. Have you never seen it? We need to watch it if you haven't
I
seen
have
it.
not seen it, but I also like hate Bill Murray and I can't tell you why.
No, it's fair. He I think sometimes seems like a Chevy Chase, but isn't Chevy Chase, if that makes sense.
It does
Like
make
I
sense.
put
Yep.
him like he's not quite so like my ranking of men that are kind of that era, number one for me will always be Billy Crystal. I am
hmm
obsessed with Billy Crystal. I love
Yeah.
him. I love him in like a lot of things I've seen him in, and then like Bill Murray's like a close. I don't know
hmm
about modern Bill Murray. I will say I'm talking about like acting
That's fair. hmm
movie wise because Billy Crystal's the lead in When Harry Met Sally. Freaking love that movie.
Yes, which I've also not seen, but I have seen him in Analyze This with Robert De Niro, which is one of my dad's all-time favorite movies, and a lot of his jokes come from that movie, which I didn't realize until I watched it for the first time in college, and
Oh,
then
that's
I
fun.
was like, "Oh my God, my dad's jokes are literally just this movie."
I adore Billy Crystal. He's also the Flame Calcifer in he's the dub for
Yes.
that and Howl's Moving Castle, and then
hmm
Bill Murray, but specifically Bill Murray in this movie. Like he goes through a journey from being like a not nice guy to essentially having to relive the same day until he becomes like a normal person. It's
Uh-huh.
incredible. Highly
Yeah.
recommend. So,
I did kind of feel I so like I've not seen the movie Groundhog Day, but I've
mhm.
seen the concept of Groundhog Day in pretty much every TV show does it. And there's
Yes.
so many like inspired by Groundhog Day. There's so many movies out there that I've seen a lot of
Mhm.
them too. And I like the concept of reliving a day over and over again until you learn the thing that you're supposed to learn.
Mhm.
However, if yesterday was my Groundhog Day, I think the only thing that I was being taught is that I am going to hell, and hell is being stuck in a room with a particular person.
Anywho, okay. Hello, I'm Colleen.
Hi, I'm Orja, and you are watching Book Witches with the Bee. We are going to be talking about the Phoenix King chapters 22 through 24 today.
Yes, I
I
had to
can
look it back
count.
up. I just go, it's the next three. I don't really pay attention when I'm reading, and I'm like trying to go back, and I'm like, what chapter was it? So,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so funny enough, I if you've seen our post, if you saw our post last Tuesday, where it said that our episode wasn't posted due to technical difficulties. The technical difficulties was that I technically forgot, apparently, that I have a podcast, and that it was Monday and that it was time to edit and post the podcast for Tuesday morning. Um, so I actually edited that episode right before we jumped on to record this one. Hey!
you
And
know
you want to know something that really stuck with me from that episode?
what?
Is the section where we're talking about charming people, and you completely blew my mind because I truly am like, yeah, I'm so charming, but then like I would not apply that word to describe any other woman I know. There's a different word for it.
Mhm.
It is something that I generally think of men as charming and myself.
Totally
Just
fair.
like, what? Who am I? Had a lot of feelings these past couple of days.
It was fun. It was just when you asked, I was just like, yeah, but then I was trying to think of the traits that I associated with charming, and I was like, I've never applied this word to a woman ever in my
Mm-hmm.
life. Not
Yeah.
that it was like it fits. It's just not like I don't know. Contextually for me, it's just not something that I think applies typically.
Well, I think like historically speaking, even when the word charming was applied to women, it means something different.
It does. Yeah, they were like well bred, had the
Hmm.
right manners, which I don't, which is kind of the male version of it, but it's more of like a, like charm and charisma to me are very hand in hand with men. It is not
Hmm.
with women.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
yeah.
So yeah, on that note, are you ready to do that chapter recap?
Woo!
Colleen's gonna take this one for me because I'm clearly not together this week.
um, I did not prep, so bear with me. As I did
Okay,
literally change my Kindle settings, which, or just seen my Kindle settings
I have. They're pretty
previously.
funny.
This is what it looks like right now, and it's honestly making me feel a little weird. But this is the only
You're
way I'll be able
fine.
to get a quick recap. So, okay,
If I may, I will just read the excerpts from the beginnings of the chapters for you.
you absolutely can.
So, chapter 22, which is from Leo's point of view. O wanderer, what you seek lies within these veins. Look, you carry the story of the world. From the Odyssey of Gurrumount, a play.
So we open super fun. Uh, Literally, the opening line of this chapter is, "I want you to kill the priests."
Hmm.
Opening line. So he's talking to Firma, which we knew he was gonna do. So at the end of the last section, he was like, "You guys won't kill these priests. I'll ask the Yumi to do it." Which I also think it's interesting that he only refers to her by her race and not by her name, but we can address that later. But it is something I noticed. And she, of course, hesitates because I don't know if she's necessarily a faithful person, but to a point enough that she knows probably shouldn't kill a priest. And he's like, "You serve me," and so she does it, unhappily. And as she is, washing her hair, getting the blood out of it because she uses her hair to kill them, she's at the base of, what was the tree that you were talking? The
Oh, the Gulmorhen tree.
Glenmorhan tree, which comes up quite a bit actually in this section. Um, it's basically Leo just having his own little pity party about his soul that he definitely didn't do to himself. Um, but so we're kind of going through that with him, and then he does eventually end up telling um, Firma about why he hasn't. She's like, "You have to let her hold fire. You can't keep keeping this from Elena." And he basically explains to her like she'll have to give up something, which I had a revelation in this section. We can talk about it, but he's like, you either have to give blood or love, basically. Like you have to give something you love or blood, one of the two. And he's like, yeah, my dad gave up my brother, which I thought his brother, which I thought was interesting.
Hmm.
Um, so, and she's like, you have to tell her, like, it has to be her decision to do this. And eventually, and he's like, she'll curse me for denying her birthright, but he's like, it's either you or me at this point. Either you have to die or I have to die. And one of my favorite things that Firma has ever said is, she was like, are you not willing to die for her? Are you not
Yeah.
willing to be the sacrifice?
Hmm.
Yeah. He had to sacrifice it. Yeah. I like highlighted it. And he basically, like, finally we get to the core of this. He's not willing to do it, and he's justifying it as, well, my father, he wasn't around to lead me, so I need to be around to lead her. But he's basically like, we've heard this recurring thing from her mom, like, I can't remember his,
Oh,
but she,
selfish Malhari.
yes, and you kind of get the full quote of like, you were not willing to sacrifice yourself, you selfless person. And um and from is like, I'll definitely sacrifice myself, like, that's my thing. And he's like, well, you need to be there for her to, protect her and be there for her. I need to be there for her to guide her through. So there's kind of this whole process basically. And he's like, you cannot sacrifice yourself. Do not sacrifice yourself. Don't make this decision. But like, he's kind of like, I'll kind of tell her, but like not completely. He's like kind of placating her, I think, in this section.
Oh, he
For a
talks
little
to Steiner,
while.
right? He finally figures out what it is that she was lying to him about.
That's a little bit later.
Oh. Hmm.
That's in the last section. This is what I was trying to decide. I was like, what does he talk to her about? He's basically threatening her again. He was like, I heard that you were talking to my daughter. basically. And he's like, my men will cut you all down if you don't do this. And then one of my favorite things Iona has ever said is, I pray that when the prophet arrives, she burns you first in front of Alina. Is it Alina or Elena? I think I say this wrong. It's Alina,
It's
right?
Alina.
Okay.
Hmm.
Since I've been reading these sections, it's been a whole different thing. Which is such a cool thing to say. Um,
I know.
so
We've
then
actually switched places for this book. I have been
we
listening
have
to it.
I learned if I can take notes because I don't remember what's happening by the time we get here. So I was like, I just need to be able to write them down.
Hmm.
So then Arish comes around, and they talk about there was a Arahasan attack near the Yoda, Yoddha base. Yoda,
Yoda. Hmm.
Yoda. Um, so they're basically talking about like, I forgot about this section. Okay, so they're like, there's been an attack. We need to go to it. And he's like, well, who's seen this? He's like, oh, only us has. And the soldiers of the base, he's like talking about the soldiers of the base. He goes, the black scales and a few of our officers saw, but they think it's just some nonsensical mark by the Arahasan. So there's a smoldering rune in the sand, basically, because he's out in
Hmm.
the temple at this point. He sees this rune. And he's like, they just left this rune to goad me. So he goes and looks at it, and it's like the way that it's burnt in the sand, which is kind of interesting. It's like, I don't know why this tidbit was in there, but the sand's not falling the right way. I'm assuming it's something to do with the way that it was burned. I couldn't figure out why that
Hmm.
detail was in there. But he's like, when I drop it, it wasn't blowing away in the sand like it was supposed to. So I don't know if he's thinking it's more magical, like scientific, than it is like a physical burn. I couldn't tell really which one it is. But he
Hmm.
does, oh, I guess he does realize something's wrong. I guess he has a revelation twice. So he's looking at this rune, and they did capture a Jinthari boy, like a Jinthari recruit,
Right.
from the Arahasans, and he's with the Black Scales, essentially, like in their, it's not really prison, I don't know, encampment, basically, I guess. I don't really know what to call it.
It's like a base.
Their like base thing. And so Leo's like, well, I'm gonna go, question him personally about this. I think they're just, goading me about it, but we're gonna go and look. Um, he does
Oh, is
leave
this when
behind a
the
couple.
Bells are like, yeah, we don't follow your orders, bro?
Yes, this is one of my favorite things. So the black scales, the more I read, also this section when it comes to Samson is golden. Um, but so we're getting a little more personality that we're not really seeing from them. But so essentially, Leo comes up to this tent, and he's with Arish, and Manju is also there. And he sees the like black scale soldiers, and he's like, I need to go in to question this person. I'm assuming they don't really fully recognize who he is. I'm not quite certain, but they're like,
Hmm.
no, oh gosh, what is her name? Chintari? What's her
Oh, I
name?
don't remember.
Chandi. Commander Chandi
Mm.
is in there with him. He's like, let me see the boy, and they're like, we can't let you in there. We were told to not let literally anyone in, regardless. And he's like, you serve me and Robbins, you're letting me in the store, basically. Um, who eventually Oh yeah, he says, "Move aside, soldier. I've already killed many men today. One more makes no difference on my tally." Is like Leo's threat, basically. So they're like, "All right, not worth losing our lives for." He's clearly serious. So, um, he goes in and kind of takes over from Commander Chandi, which I think is rude. But they're
Agreed.
electrocuting this poor boy to torture
Hmm.
him, which I was like, "That's a lot." I guess again, they're not burning him, but it's kind of like burning him, which I thought was interesting. I wonder if that's maybe the cold fire, maybe is more like electricity,
Like
because it's
electric. Hmm.
like it burns so hot it's cold, cold so it's so hot kind of thing. So I'm wondering if maybe that's not what that like one of the other types of fire
Interesting.
um is. And so he like walks in, he's like, I'm the king. Commander Chandi could care less. I'll be so honest with you. Like, I'm busy, but do whatever. So Leo eventually goes in and talks to this boy. He's like, I've already seen enough death for some reason. Don't know why. He can't give mercy to his own people, but he can give mercy to this 17-year-old boy that's not actually under his control. His logic is just baffling to me. He's like, why did they leave this room? I don't understand. And this boy is like, we knew you would come. Basically, he's like, I knew you would come to me. I knew you would do this. And he's like, you're unwanted. Your parents discarded you. your group discarded you. He's like trying to manipulate him into saying things, and it is somewhat working. Like this boy's kind of, breaking down. Clearly, he hasn't had
Mm-hmm.
as much training. And then they electrocute him again, and essentially, he just goes, "She's lying to you." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The one who sees visions in the flames. That's what they told me. I swear I don't know her name." Like he didn't have a lot of information, which clearly
Mm-hmm.
they left him behind. So Leo's like, "Okay, got it." And then he looks at Commander Chandi and goes, "Keep questioning him, find out what else he knows." Um, and she's like, "My men will see you out. Like, leave me alone. Like, I know what I'm doing. I would have got there eventually."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "I apologize for the ones at the gate." She's like being almost like ironic in all of this, like apologize for the ones at the gate. They don't remember who they serve, kind of thing. Um, so he realizes that the runes were wrong, and that Sina had altered the rune. Basically, is what that means. Um, and then Arisha's like, "Do you think?" Which I thought this was interesting. He's like, "Do you think she even actually knows who the prophet is, or just trying to keep you away from it?" And he's like, "No, she definitely knows who it is. She's hiding something from me." And I'm like, "You are so insanely arrogant."
He is.
Um, and Arish is like, "I will follow you because I followed you my whole life, and you're my king. But you're ruining yourself for this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let us seek forgiveness. Let's just go back on this." And he's like, "You two, basically, you've turned on me, but like, I've made my bed. I'm gonna have to keep um, moving on, basically." Um, and then he basically just talks about how it's his kingdom for another like page and a half.
Yeah.
And that's the end. It's basically just a lot of him self pitying. But what we've learned, the rune might be wrong, or at least one of
Mm-hmm.
them, which I didn't realize there was multiple. They kind of go into that later, but there was a lot more
Yeah.
layers than I thought there was to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of chapter 22. So do you think that I missed that you
I
can
don't
think
think
of that
so.
seems important?
No, I think that
Okay,
that was pretty much it. So,
cool.
chapter 23 is from Alina's point of view.
Mm,
The art of the blah, blah, blah.
it's hard. No, this word is hard. I was like, how am I going to do this? So many S's.
The art of the sling sword is not easy to master. It demands sons of practice, diligence, and failure. For one can only master the sling sword when they understand the sting of its blade. From chapter 14 of The Great History of Scion.
So this chapter is very fun. Probably one of my favorite chapters in this section. So they're going to the bird song, which is like this
Mm-hmm.
big, supposed to be like fun festival, is what it seems like to me. Before her coronation, they're like a week out essentially. So I'm assuming this is supposed to be like the kickoff of all of the celebrations before her coronation. Is kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
and this is what Verma was talking about with Yasin, saying, "You have to, I've been told I have to stay here. You need to go with Elena and Samson and protect them." So this is kind of that like next step. So contextually, they've just been in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
She tried, they've left, they're going to this event basically, and Elena is with the her favorite, with the gold caps. So Jugjir
Her
is
favorite.
there, and oh gosh, what's that man's name? Starts with the V.
Varun.
Varun is there, and then another guy that we haven't met that I can't remember his name, but I'll see later in the section. There's like three kind of main gold caps that are there. And Jugjir is just absolutely like, "I'm so pleased that you're here," just going on and on. And all Alina can think about is this man butchered my people. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot stand him. I can't believe Varun. Like, she basically comes to the conclusion Varun has lied to me. He's not going to do anything that I've asked him to do. Jugjir is the worst. I can't I can't wait anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I come into power with these people still being established as good people, I will never be able to rule in my own right,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So, so she's just like kind of going along with them. Um, and then there was a rock that was thrown at their like car essentially, and they're actually yelling um, at Jugjir, not for her. So she was like, "I probably
Mm-hmm.
would have had them, arrested if they were attacking me, but I'm realizing they have no clue that I'm in this car. They're attacking the gold caps. They're upset with them. They know what happened." Um, Basically, I'm trying to figure out the order of when this happens. It turns out that Jugjir is the one that organized like this whole day. basically, and they're leading up to this like statue. She doesn't know what the
Oh
statue is, but
yeah.
there's this big statue
Oh yeah.
that's coming up. I can't remember if when she decides to release the info was before or after the statue. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think it's before.
If she won,
Um, Releases the information that we're about
it's
to get
after.
to. It's after. Okay, that's what I thought.
Hmm.
So they're going up to this thing, and like Samson's there with her, and so is Yasin. Um, what are these contents here? As they are waiting.
I think so. Like basically, what I remember from this, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think basically what happens is like Jagjir is like, in honor of you, go.
Mm-hmm.
We've had something created. Go
Resurrected.
ahead
Yeah.
and and she pulls like the cloth off, and it's like her and her dad in
Mm-hmm.
gold caps.
Yeah. She's like sitting on a throne. She is sitting on a throne, to their credit.
Hmm.
Um, and her dad is behind her, like standing behind her, and they have gold caps that are like made out of gold,
Real gold.
like
Yeah.
gleaming, gilded gold gleaming on their heads. And she's like, I I can't do this. So she has the like holopod with all the information, and I guess this was a preset thing. She like presses a button on
Hmm.
it basically, and she's like, in an hour, this is all going to go out to the news that Jugjir is actually a Jinthari spy, and he's betrayed our
Hmm.
country and betrayed our people, and this is how I'm going to collapse them from within,
Yeah. And I
basically.
think
And
she
she's
somehow slips it into Varun's pocket.
because it's going to project that he's the one that like sent these
Yeah.
messages and stuff or whatever. So they're going to know it came from him. So it'll also kind of destroy him in the process, since he didn't do what he was supposed to do,
Hmm.
basically. Um, so then they're like, we have this really fun spectacle for you. And she's like, what's the spectacle? And so it's like a jousting pit, I guess is maybe the best
Yeah.
way I could put it, but it's like a boxing demonstration or something, like a fighting demonstration. And there's this person in, this long cape, which also, just a tidbit, the whole time I'm reading this. So Yasin is there. Yasin has a visor, because again, we got to remember that Yasin killed
Yes.
Jugdir's brother, and he like panics actually at one point. That's what I was looking at. So right before the
Hmm.
statue thing, he's panicking, saying, "Did you tell Jugdir that I'm here? I killed his brother." And she's coming to this realization that like they've sent out photos and things of Arahasa
Yeah.
agents before. They probably did this to Yasin at one point. They're
Yeah.
gonna know his face, so she like steals a visor from one of the thing and says it
Yeah.
hurts his eyes. Like he's because like clearly he looks like Dintari, so like hurts his
Yeah.
eyes. Give him the visor kind of thing. So there's these people like fighting pretty skillfully. Give a couple of blows, and then the mystery man in the cape loses, and he like holds the sling sword up to his throat. Such a violent fight, by the way. Like they're not actually really hurting each other; they're in padding. And then the person in the funniest and most dramatic way like rips his hood off. It's Samson. It was Samson the whole time. I
Always
liked it a lot.
Samson. Yeah.
I'm literally picturing like the knights from medieval times
Yeah.
that I've like seen, which I've not been to. I want to go to. And she's realizing they still have like 20 minutes or so before this information is going to release. And she's like, and Varun's like, I'm going to leave now. And she's like, you can't leave. And she's like, and he was like, why? And she's like scrambling. She's like, I'm going to fight my fiance.
Woo!
So she goes down there and is like, you have to, like, it'll be an insult to me if you leave.
Yeah.
And so she like goes in the back, and there's some padding, and Samson's coming in. He's like, hey love, like what's going on? And she's just like, yeah, like you have to trust me, like I'm doing something about all of those people that were butchered, like you definitely would do something, right? Samson stays silent. She goes,
Yeah.
right, honey. Also doesn't say anything. He just kind of leaves, which is interesting.
He's just like, okay, I'll go get ready to fight you, I guess.
Yeah, so they go out there and they start, doing their sparring thing. There was literally a note that I put in here at one point where I just go hot. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, is it when he's like telling her like how to move and stuff, and he's like, trust me, go do this, and she does it. And he like,
Oh,
it's like a game.
I think this is the note. I think it was. It said, a smile crept across his face. He was so close that she could see the dark depths of his eyes, deep blue like uncharted seas. This is in the middle of a fight. They're like fighting, and their swords are clashing, and she's looking into his eyes, and she's like,
Yeah.
they're so blue. And I'm like, okay, that's like this is like that classic, fight scene where they're kind of flirting a little bit.
Flirty
And so
fighting.
flirty fighting, and they're all, they don't really get to a point where one of them wins or doesn't. They're pretty even in it, so it's a little bit different from the Yasin fight because I was kind of curious what he was going to do
Mm-hmm.
in this moment, because the information releases basically as they're doing this fight, and you just hear Jagir like cause this great commotion. He's like, "This is a mistake. I didn't do this." So she like runs up there somehow. I don't know. She like gets herself leaves up there, and she's like, "Arrest this man. He's a traitor." And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Vern, you did this to me." He's like, "Your Highness, I promise I didn't do this. I would never betray you." Blah 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 blah. And she's like, "Get him out of here. We need extra guards for the evening. There's going to be riots." And she's just like, "That's what you did."
She kind of
Basically, there's
takes
a lot
control.
more that's super fun in this chapter, but that's a very quick
Yeah.
rundown. So there you
Yeah,
go.
there is one thing that I want to talk about in deep dive, and
Mm-hmm.
it's when she's announced that she's going to have a fight with Samson, and
Mm-hmm.
her and Yasin is basically like, "What the heck are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so she's like telling him like, "Hey, you're not in trouble. However, this is what's happening. Like, I'm taking responsibility." And like they're talking really close, and then Samson comes in, and there's this where she says he looks at them with like longing in his eyes.
But he specifically looks at
Yasin,
Yasin with
which I
longing in his
didn't,
eyes.
which yes. So I want to talk about that in deep dive because it's not something that
Yeah.
I saw the first time I read this.
And then I was like, well, what kind of longing? Because I can't
Yep.
decide if it's like jealousy because of their closeness or if he's like
Uh-huh.
a little into Yasin. And I think the answer might be yes. I'll be
Yes.
honest.
I think
I
it's
think
yes
that's true.
too.
I think it's a little bit of yes. I think it's a little
Yeah.
bit of both.
Yeah, I think so
Um,
too.
I'm
But yeah,
like,
I want
I
to
mean,
talk about like
fair.
what that means for this based on
Mm-hmm.
what we've already talked about. So don't
I
let me
like it.
forget.
Okay.
Um okay, chapter 24, again from Leo's point of view.
Okay.
Peace, the land rumbled. Change, the sky whispered. Destiny, the fire hissed from the legends and myths of Sion. Here we go.
Okay. We've had so much Leo the last like chunk of
It's
this
been
book.
Leo heavy and it's been a little bit of a struggle.
It hurts my soul. Okay. So now he's like Leo's back in his study. He's sitting there. He's like, I immediately wanted to go, confront the high priestess, but Arish is like, I need you to calm down. I need you to sit here, and I need you to think through everything because like you've already killed a bunch of people today. That clearly didn't work. You're being a dummy. Sit down. Um, so they're like sitting there drinking something that makes Arish really tired, which I don't know if he's just tired or if it's like an intentional thing, but I did like catch it where they're like, he's like, eyes are all like droopy. And so for like a split
Hmm,
second, I was like, oh, someone poisoned them. And I think it was just, he was tired. Um,
maybe.
but so he's like, okay, well, we need to take this new rune into account. And so, which the first sign, which I thought was interesting, and I made a note of, we can talk about later, is the feather of a phoenix, which I didn't
Hmm.
realize. So there's like a feather of a phoenix, and then there's one of those trees that we talk about, and then there's like one more, and then there's like this tiny circle with a dot in it, and he uses that's the last one that he overlays, and he uses the Arahasan like rune this time and like lays it over, and as he like starts following it, gets to the center, basically it's like a map that takes them there. Turns out, dun dun, it's the palace. So then he's like, wait, is it Alina? Like, is it her? And he's like, no, like she keeps being burned. But now he's having this, like, he's like, I've done all of this stuff. He's realizing I've killed these priests for no reason. I've killed this young girl for no reason. He's like, it could be the Yumi, because apparently they did control fire at one point, which I didn't realize and also have some thoughts on. Because anyhow, and he's like, but like she, I think I would know. He's like, what? He's like, Arish would have told me if someone's in the palace. And at this point, he's just lost. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. So he decides that he's gonna go sit in this like courtyard that was a favorite of his wife's, basically. So he's like, I need to be alone. He's like telling. He does talk to one of the like servant girls that are out there,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like you can kind of tell she can tell something's off. I think she helped clean up the palace, up
Hmm.
the not the palace, the
The temple.
temple that has all the blood, and he's like, I can kind of like see her resentment almost with me in it, but she doesn't really like say anything because he's the king.
Mhm.
And so he goes and like sits down and he's just like really, but he does kind of notice, which is really interesting. He's like, I finally noticed all of this wonderful food that's being prepared around me. And everyone seems really excited about this ceremony, and people are putting coal on their eyes, and they've, starched their uniforms. And like, he's like noticing life around him again, like he hasn't um, before. And then he's like sitting there and, gosh, what is it? Thinking about all of these people that he's killed. But he's like not like this prophet waiting for their chance to take the kingdom away from him. He's like brooding on the fact that he can't find this prophet and that it's waiting to take
Mhm.
it away from him. Um, he does pray to the phoenix, but specifically saying that I will kill your prophet, which I thought was a really bold choice. But he's like, nothing comes at me for this blasphemy, whatever. And then Arish rushes out there and is like, Your Majesty? He's like, what is it? He's like, it's Jangir? Am I saying that right? Jangir?
Is there an N in there?
Jangir.
Jungjeer.
Okay, that's what I was saying. I was just making
Mhm.
sure. Jangir. Um, he's like saying that he's a Jandari spy. Even Mufasta, has signed off
Mufasa.
on. Huh? Muf,
It's Muftasa.
there we go. That makes sense.
I got you.
Um, thank you. I'm bad with names. Um, so, like, here's the copy of this report. He's like, that's impossible. I know Jagir wouldn't do that. And he's like, I don't know. They're already like apprehending him. The princess was there when all of this happened. And he's like, what's going on, basically. And so at this point, Alina shows up and it's like clicking in Leo's brain. He's
Mhm.
like, there's only like 5 people that have access to this, and she's one of them. And she
Mhm.
told me to stop this, and I didn't. He's like, what did you do, basically? And so he's like, leave us. So Yasin and everyone leaves, and it's just Leo, and her, and he's like, you're an idiot. Like, you're gonna come up into power, and they're gonna riot against you, and their Hassan are gonna kill you, and all of these things are gonna happen to you. Everything that I've built, everything that I do is for you. Like, he's like, I've done all of this for you. He's like, I'll do it. He's like, I'll clean up your mess. But you have to do your duty as the future queen. You have to say these are false reports. You need to come out and say all of this stuff. Like, maybe not all hope will be lost. And she's like, Father, it's already lost. Like, we're so far past
Mhm.
anything being, this is the only option at this point, basically. She's like, they're bullies. They kill without consequence. They're not helping anyone. No one is going to believe anything, even if I say that. Like, it's already done. And she's like, you need to teach me how to hold fire, and like shows him her burned fingertips. And she's like, the more you don't tell me, the more I'm going to keep trying to do
Yeah.
this. You cannot stop me. You cannot control me. Like, I'm done. Basically, like, I'm done with following you. Um, and she's like,
Well, he
how
pulls
can
that
they
bull crap about like everything I've done is for you, and she's like, "Have you ever actually asked me what I want?"
yeah, so and she was like, um yeah, that spot I had, did I highlight that? Oh, she's like, have you ever asked? And answer, he willed himself. Like, he hasn't been talking at all of this. A lot of this is in a monologue. He's like, she's just shoved my shame so hard into my face that my voice is gone.
Yeah.
And he says, what is it that you want? And she said, that you would for once ask me on your own. And at this point, he's like, I'm swallowing sand. And he's like, I'll send more people into the city, like you asked. And then he's like, what's this? And she said, courage for you to do the right thing. And hands him this like sling sword, and then just leaves,
Mhm.
basically. And so he's just like sitting there spiraling, basically, about the things that he's, done in his life and what he's going to do. And he starts meditating to try to calm himself down, which actually does a decent job at, but he's still
Mhm.
struggling. And then the head priestess ends up approaching him in this process. And he's like, I'm gonna, or maybe he goes into the temple. I'm not certain which one, but he ends up talking to the lead priestess, and he's like,
Mhm.
I've learned so many things over the years. Actually, killing people isn't going to help. I have to manipulate them emotionally. And I'm like, well, why didn't you start with that? But that's not the other issue. Um, you know, and then
Uh-huh.
he's like, the blood of everyone is on your hands. I have big thoughts about that. This is all on you. I can't believe you won't tell me. everything is wrong. And then magically, he finally clicks in his mind that the thing that she's lying about is that it may not be a woman. It could also be a
Mm-hmm.
man, basically. And so it kind of opens up
Mm-hmm.
a whole new world of things. And she's like, if you repent, like you might have at least less of a punishment in the afterlife. And he's like, oh, Sina, it's much too late for that. And that's how it ends. That's it.
Leo.
I hate this man. I hate him with a
Oh
fiery
gosh.
passion. I have a lot of rage for this section,
As
particularly this
I think
last
maybe
section.
as you should. I think as you should. Yeah.
So there we go. That was my slightly disjointed quick rundown. But there we go.
That was great. That was great. Thank you for doing that. I clearly am having issues with, everything this week, so I really appreciate it. Um all right, you ready for section superlatives?
Woo! Boop, boop.
Okay, drama queen of the section.
Okay, so I can't pick Leo again. Um,
No, we have to pick
so
someone else.
I want to say it's just because it's dramatic in a way that I really appreciate. It's got to be Samson and his like
Yes.
cloak reveal of like.
Yeah.
Also, I
It's
like that he
me.
he like planned it for her. I know some of
Yeah.
it's like the spectacle to show that he can fight and it's good for the people and all of this stuff. But I do think there's this little thing of he's like, I am tough, I'm strong, I'm here for you. I'm not just some like political, I don't know, page boy,
Like puppet.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I got some fight. He's like, Yasmin's not the only one that could fight. I could do it too. Like, I was trained too. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from him. Not
Yeah.
necessarily in a jealous way, but maybe. I can't. It's hard to get. We can talk about that. I
It's
can't
hard to tell.
tell.
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
it's. I don't think he's necessarily jealous, but maybe. I don't know. There's a different word for it, but I can get there later. So we'll talk about it later. But yeah.
No, I agree. Since we can't pick Leo because he's obviously the drama of the entire book,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I like Samson as a choice. He has he has a dramatic flair that is really hard to dislike.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he's. I think he's very much in that morally gray section of it a
Hmm.
little bit, but he's very
Yeah.
like he's not quite a court jester, but like kind of. He's very like
Well, so
funny
like
and
the
endearing.
entire like fight scene where they're like flirty fighting, there he's putting on a show. Like he's
Yeah,
like Alina and him are like discussing what to do next and they're like putting on a show for people, which is like
yeah,
it is very hot. I agree.
it is. I was like,
Hmm.
okay. I love like a flirty fight scene in a book when it's done really well, and it's done very well
Yeah,
in this
it
section.
is.
So I liked it.
It is. Um okay, and then craziest thing to happen.
Uh, I think her finally releasing the files.
Yeah.
Like we knew it was gonna happen at some point. I'd honestly kind of forgotten about them just because she really
Hmm.
hasn't like she's lightly mentioned them, but it hasn't been like a driving main thing for a bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. I think that was quite shocking. I think another thing that was a little shocking, crazy for me was just like how long it took Leo to finally put like he knows that Sina's been lying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after he's killed all of the priests, now he's like, "Oh, it might be a man."
Yep.
Oh. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. And then like also like the boy, the Ara Hassan agent that they catch, like
Yeah,
that was quite shocking as well for
it
me.
was. Yeah, but the Hassan like is weirdly getting involved in his like profit hunt. Don't know
Yeah.
why.
Like what does that mean? Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay. All right. Well, Colleen, do you have a corner?
I do, but if you have something you want to talk about, you can.
I don't. I just wanted to know because I made
Okay,
you do the book recap.
I do. Yes, yeah. I'm not quite certain how long.
Colleen's corner.
Woo! Okay. Um, so this isn't something that's like explicitly stated in the book, but it's kind of been something that's been talked about, and it's about Alina, who I feel like maybe I don't talk about enough because
Mhm.
Like, I feel like she's the main character, but it's definitely kind of Leo. I don't know. It's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Almost more in
I
this.
have
He
thoughts
drives
on
the
that
story.
statement right now, but yep. Uh-huh.
Oh, at least she's starting to pick up her own
Yeah.
story in this section. Is kind of how it feels to me. Um, but I want to talk about disappointing your parents, which I know is a complex topic. And this is a, I don't mean this from like a personal perspective. We can talk about that if we want.
Mhm.
Um, but her, one of the reasons, and she's talked about this in the book, and I do think it's another one of those, like, faith is a big driving force in this book. It's talked about, but I think maybe not touched on in like a, touched on a certain way, but you know what I mean? You have to know it to get it. I think
Yeah.
her hesitancy to release it because she doesn't want to destroy her father or his legacy because she loves him so much, in her having to essentially choose her father or the kingdom with releasing
Mhm.
this information and taking down the gold caps and kind of revealing all of his ugly, basically, and her just finally being like, I have to do it. Like, I
Mhm.
know this will destroy him. It'll probably destroy me in the process. I gotta do it. I can't keep this going on anymore. Like, I specifically highlighted um the section about courage because I thought it was interesting, and that's where my note about this was. So, like, when she hands her father the sword and he's like, what's this for? And she says, courage to do the right thing. I said, I can only imagine the courage it takes for her to have this conversation. It's so clear she loves her father, but she finally couldn't stand by and watch him in this way. That had to be unbearable.
Mhm.
To, like, know and, like, I don't know. Yeah, just the.
I think it's a very interesting topic that you propose
Mhm,
because I don't know about you, but as a um, fairly ambitious, highly achieving
mhm.
immigrant daughter,
Yeah.
um, I have had several moments in my life where I felt like if I did the thing that I thought I needed to do, it would be disappointing my parents. Which,
Mhm.
mother, I know you're watching this. I love you and I don't feel like I disappoint you anymore, so don't worry. I'm talking about this from a really healthy place.
Yeah.
Because we've had conversations about it.
Yeah.
But like I've had moments where I've been like, well, I think one of them for me was moving to St. Louis. When I moved to St. Louis in 2020, I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, I know that you guys want me to stay here until I get my life sorted out, but I have to move to St. Louis because if I don't, like it's too hard to be in the relationship with Joel when we're
Mhm.
apart. And I don't think it's fair to make him come here. I'm not moving back to Florida. Like I have to do this. I have to go. I have to start from scratch and like in whatever way and like just like I don't know why that for me I felt like it was such a hard thing to do and it was such a hard
Mhm.
threshold like border to like jump over with
Yeah.
them, but like it's that thing where it's like I can't take it anymore and I have to do the thing that they're not going to approve of or they're going to be disappointed that I'm making this decision.
Mhm.
And that's like pretty low down on the list of things that I could talk about. But
I get what you mean.
but
Yeah.
it's definitely one that's like, you know, it that idea of like you have these beliefs and you
Mhm.
have a sense of morality and what's right and it doesn't always match your parents because you're your own person. It might be
Mhm.
influenced by things that they've taught you, but you're always going to develop your own sense of morality and what's right. And coming to a point where it's like I have to choose this over what I know my basically choose that over my parents is such an
Mhm.
interesting concept because we all do it
We do.
eventually,
Oh yeah.
right? And then I think that it's really interesting that you highlighted that line about her handing her father the sword and being like, this is the courage. It's flipping the tables because in
Mhm.
the end, they owe it to us to not disappoint us as well. If we owe it to them to not disappoint them. Does that make sense? Like it's
No,
a
it does.
mutual
Yeah,
thing. If I'm
it
not
is.
if I'm trying not to disappoint you, you should be trying not to disappoint me too because now we're at the point where we're both adults.
Yeah.
Yes, you're my parent, but I am also an adult now, and you have a responsibility to be accountable for things in addition to me having responsibility. That's my 2 cents on it.
No, I like it. I like it. I I knew it was complicated. So like for again, mom, no, you're watching this. I don't mean this currently, and this is again something we've talked about. One of my biggest fears, maybe I haven't ever articulated this to them. I kind of have at one point. One of my biggest fears is disappointing my parents. It just is. I can disappoint a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, and whatever disappointing my parents like feels like a gut punch to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and like not in like choices that I've made, but like not like me making my own choices is never, I think, anything that my parents are going to be upset with me with. But it's more of like, I know how much my parents worked and sacrificed to get me to where I am. So if I didn't pass this class with a high enough grade, or I didn't achieve this thing, or if I'm not ambitious enough, then am
Mm-hmm.
I not taking advantage of the gift that they've given me? Basically, like
Mm-hmm.
that kind of side of it. It's not necessarily like my own personal choices. I know my parents are perfectly happy with the choices that I've made, but like not achieving enough. And like I am, and I think same as you, very highly ambitious,
Yeah.
high achieving person. I think some people don't think I am because the way I go about it is a little bit different than I think what people traditionally think of as ambition. But like I have ambitions to be happy and to
Mm-hmm.
have a good job and to feel settled and like those kinds of things I think can also be their own
Mm-hmm.
ambition. Ambitions aren't just careers. But like
Mm-hmm.
I so to the point that like when I watch movies where you can tell that a parent is disappointed in their child, I sob. So like um two good examples, at least for me that are somewhat recent that are animated. Don't know what it is about animated movies. But I recently rewatched How to Train Your Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
when he can
yeah.
tell his father is just disappointed in him and Hiccup is just like broken,
Mm-hmm.
sobbing. And then the other one that absolutely destroys me, and this is a very specific movie, and I don't know if everyone's going to see it. I've sobbed every time I've seen it. I'm like tearing up thinking about it. It's Elemental,
I
where
was I was literally thinking about Elemental. Yeah.
so which it is Asian influenced, and I know
Yes.
Indian culture and other Asian cultures aren't quite the same, but I do think there is
Mm-hmm.
a disappointing parents respect element in it. I think it's supposed to be Korean based, but
Mm-hmm.
there's this like scene in it where and it's kind of juxtaposed in two different ways where they're like flames and they're leaving home. I guess kind of similar to your thing. They're leaving home and his parents don't agree, and so they don't bow to him basically as they're leaving.
Yeah.
And it's like a great sign of disrespect, even though he's
Mm-hmm.
bowing to his father. His father refuses to do it back, and I'm sobbing, like
Yeah.
openly sobbing. But then like I somewhat recover, and then we get to the final scene, and she's leaving to go pursue something that he probably isn't as excited or happy for her, but he can tell she's excited to go do it. And he like bows to her as she's
Yeah.
leaving. It destroys me. It destroys me every time. Um, so anyhow, uh, other media bringing in, but
That
I
is
think the idea of disappointing your parents is hard and difficult to do, and I can't imagine doing it on a national scale.
yeah.
Like I've never done anything that was like
Yeah.
publicly this
Publicly very
intense.
national, very like yeah. I also think like it's very important to note your parents lovely, love you, support you, ultimately want you to be happy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My
Of
parents
course,
too. Even though I think
yeah,
I'm going to be disappointing them, it's very rarely, I don't think it's ever actually been the case. I just build it
no,
up in my head, right?
yeah, they've never actually been disappointed. Yeah,
Right. Leo
yeah,
is disappointed in her, but it's
he
because
is.
he's an arrogant asshole.
Well, he's not really a good parent.
No, he's a bad parent.
He's obsessed with himself, and I do think he loves her, and I think that's the complicated part of it is it's like
Hmm.
he wants to love her and does not know how to do it. He
Yeah.
does not know how to do it.
He's too selfish to truly, he loves
Yeah,
her in as far as she's a part of his legacy
yeah,
and she reminds him of his wife who he did love. I think that that might be the extent of it. He just stretches it to make it feel like it's more.
yeah, I agree. it's
Anyways, yeah.
it was hard, and I just thought I liked her. I feel like a lot of this book she's kind of just been going along with it, right? We've seen her just kind of
Hmm.
trying to go along, making plans to eventually, turn the tide, but has been like, he'll do the right thing. He'll do the right thing eventually. She doesn't even know everything he's done. She knows
Yeah.
one thing he's done, which to her credit, it took one thing.
It took one
It
thing. Yeah.
took one major thing. Gosh bless. But one thing for her to be like,
Yeah.
this is enough. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to defend you. I'm not going to beat you. So,
Hmm.
and she did it
Yeah.
so gracefully and so well. And I just think she deserves a lot of credit. One, not only for doing that, but two, doing that. Like, because I feel like a lot of times when this happens, it's like, because like he was never mean to her. He was never,
Yeah.
really abusive. Like when it happened with Arobin and Aelin
Hmm.
in Throne of Glass, it made sense, right? Like he
Yeah.
sucked. Her father didn't necessarily, from her perspective, he did, but from her
Yes.
perspective, didn't suck to her, right?
Hmm.
So that's, I think, takes a lot of courage, and I think she
It
should get a
does.
lot of credit for that.
I agree.
So that's what I wanted to
Lovely.
talk about. Yeah,
Okay. Well, that was great. Very thought
thank you.
provoking. Um, all right. Are we ready to go into the deep dive?
Deep dive. Woo.
Deep
Jumping
dive.
right
Yeah,
in.
just in time.
Come on.
um, okay. Samson
Yes.
longing for Yasin.
It caught me so off guard, and not even in necessarily a bad way. I was just like,
No. Oh.
oh, I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Hmm.
Like,
I think that he's longing. I think he gets that longing look because he's not only jealous of the closeness that Yasin has with Alina, but
mhm,
of the closeness that Alina has with Yasin too.
I agree. Hmm.
And I do kind of love the idea of it being a love triangle, but like
And I'm gonna,
in that like it's an actual triangle in that like maybe him and Yasin might have
oh,
unresolved feelings
oh, so
for
not
each
like a
other
white
as
shoes,
well.
like an actual
Like an
triangle.
actual everyone has maybe feelings for each other sort of
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yes. No, that's fun. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do
Yeah.
too. I thought it was interesting, and it was definitely intentional, and I thought it was so intriguing that Alina picked it up. Because
Yes.
I think Samson has been a lot more guarded than Yasin has been, which I think is why that
Mhm.
closeness hasn't been there. I think there's a reason for it from
Yeah.
Samson's perspective. Also, interestingly enough, Yasin's had a lot more access to Alina
Yeah. He
than
sure has.
Samson has, being her personal guard. Um, but I think this was a moment of Samson not having his. I think this whole section was kind of him having a mask on, but it's definitely a lot less. I think he's really taken aback
Mhm.
and taken off guard, and I think we saw in that second Samson. We didn't
Yeah.
see the leader of the Black Scales, the Jinthari,
Yeah.
puppet, whatever we saw. Samson.
Samson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think like I think the reason Alina picked up on it is because like she wants to know this man that she's marrying. She's very observative. Is that a word?
Yes.
I can't remember if it's a word or not. Guys, my
I mean,
brain is so broken this week.
my brain was like, I mean, she's good at observing. I think, but I don't know. My
Oh
vocabulary
shoot.
is not as vast.
Observative. Observant.
There we go. That's what we were looking for. I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
it's okay.
She's very Oh my gosh. I can't. My brain is broken. She's very observant
Yes.
in general. I mean, the fact, like, she's a princess, right? The fact
Mm-hmm.
that she picks up on all of this political intrigue going on with her father in the
Mm-hmm.
first place, like, she doesn't have any reason to, but she's
Mm-hmm.
observant and she cares. And when she cares about something, I feel like her powers of observation are extra turned on. And I think she
Yeah.
does care to know Samson. And so
Mm-hmm.
she's probably always like watching him a little bit.
I think she's intrigued by him. I do think she's like, I
Well,
mean,
she definitely finds him attractive.
yeah, she's like, of the people I have to marry, not the worst option that I've been
Yeah.
given. And it is, I mean, it's not like, and they've stated it. She's had other proposals. She
Yeah.
hasn't accepted them. She
Hmm.
did accept Samson's. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. Like I think that like yeah, the longing that she caught him looking at Yasin with was like I was like I don't remember that from the first time I read it. I do know things that happen in the end, vaguely remember
Mm-hmm.
them. And I think that I think I'm going to have a different perspective on everything
Mm.
with this like tiny detail. Now I'm going to be reading it very differently, I think.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you have no clue.
I'm very stoked. It's starting to pick up enough that like I've been reading it as much. I've been really reading through it. So a lot of my notes on this are truly just me being upset. Oh, okay. So I did make a note that I wanted to talk about. I have a couple. Um, oh yeah, a smile. Yeah, the one where I said hot that I was talking about was a smile crept
Yes.
across his face. He was so close. Yeah, I did put hot. That was the
Well,
only
yeah,
note that I have.
agreed.
So I didn't realize when it says you either have to give like blood or someone you love that it means you physically have to kill them.
Yes.
I don't think I processed that. I thought it was just like the fire would take it, like the fire chooses kind of thing.
No. Like you
Or
have
like,
to give it.
yeah, I didn't realize he was sacrificed. He had it was Leo talking about his father. He had sacrificed his own brother, but I cannot do the same with my family. I gave the Inferno nothing when he's talking to Verma, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that you physically had to spill
Yeah.
their blood,
You
which
choose.
yeah, which I thought was really interesting. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that the first go
Yeah.
round when I did it.
Which is why it's so rough with Leo because like he refused to choose
Mm-hmm.
and then his wife sacrificed herself. And
Yeah,
that's
she
why
chose.
he's like, I don't want Alina to make that choice. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
you can see, I think, in the beginning, the very, very beginning, after when he's
Mm-hmm.
grieving his wife,
Yeah.
I think the motivation was pure
Mm-hmm.
and trying to protect Alina from it. But the more that he was like, oh, I don't have to die, he was like, oh, I don't have to die.
Yeah.
And I don't want to.
He's like, actually, which I don't even think questioning having to make a sacrifice is a negative. I don't think him saying, this is ridiculous. I don't want to do this. We shouldn't have to do this. This is too
Yeah,
big of a price to ask. None of that is the problem.
no.
It's the way that he's going about doing it that
Yeah.
is the problem.
Well, yeah,
That's the
he's
problem.
coming at it from a stance of holding on to power and running a kingdom in a corrupt and violent way.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
hate it. Hate it.
Yeah, it's rough. Speaking of fire holders, the Yumi used to hold fire.
I I don't know if it was mentioned before, but like I don't remember
It
it being talked
was.
about.
I think we talked about it very, very briefly. It was like the first episode.
Which I don't think at that point
Yeah.
I realized that the way that like Leo and even a little bit arrogantly, I think at this point Elena's like this is they talk about it as their birthright, which I get that that's a king thing, right? So it is. But I'm like other people held fire.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just a you thing. Again, your ancestor, which you said this, is just the one that was like, I'll do it.
Hmm.
Like I don't it baffled me. It
Yeah.
baffles me.
I think it's interesting because, like, they're saying what they're saying is basically that after the sixth prophet who burned, basically a majority of the Yumi population, they can't hold fire anymore. They can't control it anymore. Right? I wonder. We're talking about this mysterious third fire.
Mm-hmm.
If the sixth prophet acting on behalf of a vengeful fire god, aka the Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
destroyed the Yumi because they held the secret of the third fire.
That would make sense from the way that it seems like
Mm-hmm.
Firma is and how she
Yeah.
approaches things. That would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they maybe hid it. Maybe
Yeah.
they're like, we have to protect this thing, and so we can't use it anymore for it to still be around.
Yeah, and I don't think
Yeah.
that I don't think that they necessarily, I don't think Firma knows this. I think it was the
Hmm.
choice of her ancestors,
I
the
think so too.
survivors, to be like, nope, no more.
And they didn't pass it down. Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
I like that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to me, although Firma is a warrior
Hmm.
and she's very, she has such an abundance of love and warmth
She does.
for Alina. She had it for Anna as well. And she offers that warmth to Yasin. Like she has a lot of warmth in
She does.
her. She has a lot of love in her. So I would be curious. I don't know the answer to it and I want to know.
She's one of my favorite characters in this book. I adore her
Hmm.
so much.
Yeah, she's great.
Adore her, adore her. I do have like one big sad thing left. So, do you
Okay.
have anything else that you want to talk about?
I think that it is just like two small things that are kind of connected.
Perfect.
When they're traveling to the Birdsong Festival and
Hmm.
her and Alina's window gets hit with a rock and the
Hmm.
gold cap inside is like ready to like murder the person,
Yeah.
right? And she's like, just chill. They don't know what carriage I'm in and they can't see me.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, I think, I think that it's very clear in a lot of like big ways that the gold caps are kind of corrupt and act violently with no consequence and with no thought. But I think that this is a very like direct picture of
Yeah.
how
It's a
true
good
that
point, I
is.
guess.
Like, he's like, all right, let's go. And she's like, whoa, chill. He doesn't know I'm in here. That was random. Like, please just stop. um,
Yes.
and then the bloodlust of the people when the reports go out. Like,
Yeah.
that's so intense. Like, this is, we don't get a lot of it because we're like caught up in the personal story of these, five or four or five characters.
Yeah.
And we're caught up in like the prophet and the phoenix and like the mythology of it too. But like, this is also very much a kingdom at its tipping point. The coronation is about to happen, the change in power, the Arahats are, coming, are, what is it called?
Plotting?
They're honing in, they're plotting,
Yeah.
scheming. Like there's so much happening that I feel like we haven't had time to really process in the last few chapters, the last few episodes that we've done, because
Hmm.
it's been so about this other thing. But like the political craziness of what's going on is like everything's about to tip.
Yeah.
It's about to tip.
It is. Yeah. We are at that like precipice of
Yeah.
like, and
The
I think
words.
that's
Yep.
what
Hmm.
Alina was feeling. I think she's
Yeah.
like, especially with this statue. I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
shocked that she didn't immediately destroy that statue. I think that could have been the only other thing that if she could have figured out a way to do that would have been
Yeah.
better before she went back to confront her
Yeah,
dad is
that
to get that
statue
taken
is
down.
rough.
It's also so arrogant of
Yeah.
the gold caps. Like
Yeah.
they are not the royalty. Like it is very clear how they view themselves. Like they
Yeah.
put their crown on the royalty.
Yeah. It's so
Insane.
gross. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. All right. What's your big sad thing?
Okay. So, this is like my rage filled thing. So I think I've stated this before, but I've worked in and around domestic abuse, sex
Hmm.
trafficking, domestic violence for a long time. So not as much recently, but I did for a while. I did a lot of research on it. I know what abusive behavior looks like, and Leo very much is demonstrating this a lot in this section. And I made a note of it. I'm gonna stay calm. That was my goal of this.
It'll be
Um,
okay, even if you need to rage. Safe
I
space.
made I made notes because I want this to come across in a way that is not just me being angry. So it's when he's talking to Sina and he goes, and I mentioned this a little bit in my thing, but it says, the blood of your
Hmm.
brothers and sisters is on your hands. They've burned because you held your secret. I saw so much red, like immediately. So I made some notes so I could put my thoughts in order. I said, don't you dare lay your sins at her feet. The rage within me is so strong, I'm gonna lose it. You killed them, not her. You started this quest to murder, not her. You cannot blame her. You can try to blame her, but it does not change the facts. It changes nothing,
Mm-hmm.
regardless. And I know he's doing it to manipulate her. I'm aware, but he has said multiple times, she made me do this. And I know he's just assuaging his guilt because that's what narcissists do. He's a narcissist.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. I He's putting, which I'm not saying this prophet is, not the prophetess, lead priestess is perfect, but I
Mm-hmm.
think she is doing the best that she feels she is doing for her faith. And like, even if she told him something, he would kill her priest regardless. It does not matter if she told him the truth, he was going to kill them regardless. I have no
Mm-hmm.
doubt about that. He hates this order. He just wanted a reason to kill them and has been literally just itching for a reason to do it. And I was so angry. I don't
Yes.
like it when abusers, and they do this, throw their sins back at the feet of the person that they've abused.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I agree. I do think it's very interesting to note that it does not work on Sina.
it doesn't. Yes.
Yeah, which
And
is nice.
it,
Like,
yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't.
I guess the thing is, to piggyback off of that, if you or someone you know is having things like this happen to you, where someone in your life is treating you this way and pushing blame onto you for things that they have done,
Mm-hmm.
do not let them put that on you. Please.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Seek help, seek other people, talk
Mm-hmm.
to other people. Because sometimes I do think when you're in this, and I know it can feel scary to talk to other people about it because you maybe, and like Sina doesn't feel this, and so maybe you don't, and maybe you're not in this stage. But if you're feeling like the shame element, shame is hard for us to confront,
Yeah.
right? But they are putting their shame on you. I beg you to get past that part and talk about it with someone because I think one, you'll realize it's not you, or two, if it is you, you've taken the first step to move forward. It's probably not going to be, right? But you have to kind of push past
Yeah.
that, quote unquote shame section.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, even if you think it's your shame, it's probably not. But like, it's at least a
Yeah.
first step to move forward. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed. Yeah. I think like he's like, it's like narcissist 101.
it's
Everything is
the
about
best.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had some
His
other
love
notes
for
about that, but
Alina, his actions for the kingdom, like everything is just about him.
about him and maintaining his, and it's not even his family's legacy. That's what is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like, it is his legacy, which is why I
Yeah.
think he takes what Alina did and why what Alina did is so like striking,
Mm-hmm.
basically, because like she destroyed him
Yeah.
doing this.
I
So,
know.
yeah,
Yes.
as he
Yeah.
should be.
As he
But
should. Yeah. As she should be. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. My
like I said,
tweezers.
sad note, but
Sad note.
yeah, no, not a very uplifting note, but I do think clearly Alina doesn't want to, have the same thing, but I feel like it was
Mm-hmm.
remiss not to talk about that a little bit, and also it
Yeah.
just filled me with
I
so much
agree.
rage that I wanted to. Uh,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
that's very fair. Um. All right. Trying to think of a happy note to end on. I saw a post from Aparna that
mm-hmm.
apparently there is a dragon in book two, whatever that
Freaking love
means.
dragons. I'm very
So,
excited for book two. I
me
feel
too.
like, judging by what little bit of fan art, which is mostly just that one photo that she keeps reposting, that
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain is Elena and Samson, and I really hope it is.
Hmm.
I'm
I think it
so
is.
excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. It's Elena and somebody, and it's not
Hmm.
Yasin. So
It's not Yasin. Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever it is, she's excited about it. She's very excited about it. I'm excited about it.
I'm
So
excited about it. Yeah.
yeah, I think we're like halfway through. Yeah, we're at 50, like, just over 50%
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's, I'm like even trying to look at like the chapters that are coming
Mm-hmm.
up. So you'll notice that chapter 24. So you'll notice that Leo only has one more chapter. Is it just one more chapter? Two more chapters from his perspective in the whole book.
That makes me feel better. I will
Yeah.
be honest with you because I've been clearly, if you can tell by this, struggling through his chapters a
Yeah.
lot.
And then I know I had hinted, this is kind of spoilery. I had hinted that we were going to hear from Samson's point of view finally.
Mm-hmm.
Um it there's no chapter named after him,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the epilogue that we get from his point of view.
Ooh, which makes sense because he does seem to be potentially more of a character in the next
Yeah.
book. So also good to know he doesn't die, which is good because I probably would have an actual meltdown if
Yeah,
that
no.
happened.
He doesn't die.
So
He is a key player in this story.
good. Okay. Well, maybe good. We'll
Yes.
see. He's a little like could be, which is the point of him. I think could be really good, could be really bad. He kind of. So I think he's seems so far like a true, like maybe morally ambiguous. Maybe not
Hmm.
morally gray, morally ambiguous so far character. So
Yes. Yeah.
I like it.
I am so excited to get to the end of this book. Um, oh, I'm so excited. All right. Well, I promise I will be posting this on Tuesday of next week. You'll be able to see this on Tuesday.
And it's fun.
It's fine. And yeah, until then, I guess happy reading. Only two more chapters from Leo's perspective left. I think it's across two more episodes. So we only
That's
have
fine.
to talk about his perspective for two more episodes.
God bless. We'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
We don't have to be in his head anymore after two episodes.
I think I'm ready to not be in his head. It's making my
Yeah.
head go crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's making
All
me go
right.
insane.
All right, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.